Demetra, will you search us out and make sure you can find us? Okay. So good afternoon. I am Hillary Heislope. I am the director of the Clewiston Chamber of Commerce, and I am joined today for our final forum of the day by Mr. Eddie Warren and the incumbent and sitting commissioner, Commissioner Emma Byrd. So this is a candidate forum for Hendry County District 1 commission seat. We do have another candidate, Mr. Samuel Simmons. He popped on for a second and now he's gone. So he's having some technical difficulties. Hopefully he'll be able to jump on at some point here in the very near future. So thank you guys so much for being here with us, Eddie and Commissioner Byrd. We really appreciate you guys taking the time and making the effort out of your day to join us and, you know, try to speak directly to your voters. We did get some pretty good questions for you guys, and we will pull some of our questions from the Facebook Live, maybe towards the end if we have time. We ask that our viewers on Facebook Live remain cordial and nice to one another. I've had to go back on some of our other forums that we did this morning and get rid of a few derogatory words and, you know, comments that had ugly words and things like that. And that is not, we are not the place for that. So let's try to, those of you watching us on Facebook, let's try to keep it pretty G-rated, if you will. We would greatly appreciate that. But if you choose not to, your comment won't sit there for long. But anyway, a little bit of housekeeping is we are going to do this in a Q&A style format. I have you both unmuted right now. Once we get started, I will mute both of you so that only the person that we're addressing can speak. You know, we don't have people talking over one another. We'll go in alternating order. So we'll start with asking Mr. Warren a question first, and then that same question will go to you, Commissioner Byrd, and then you'll get to go first. Mr. Warren will go second, that kind of thing. And if Mr. Simmons gets on, we'll throw him into that rotation as well. At the end, we will give everyone 2 minutes to just kind of speak directly to the voters and let them know why they should be voting for you and, you know, that sort of thing. We do ask that you limit your responses to all of our questions to about 2 minutes. I will let you know 15-second warning. Please don't think I'm interrupting you or trying to be rude if you're still going, but that's just the best way for us to kind of get through this in a timely fashion. So any questions for me?
Yeah.
No? Okay. So I'm going to mute you, Commissioner, and we are going to start with you, Mr. Warren. Please tell us and all of Facebook land your first and last name, where you're currently employed, and how does your current employment add to your qualifications to serve as a Hendry County Commissioner for District 1?
I currently work for the Seminole Tribe of Florida as the Public Works Supervisor. My job for the Seminole Tribe of Florida is very important for Hendry County as a whole to understand the infrastructure, and infrastructure is part of something that the county do.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much. Commissioner Byrd, the same question to you. Do you need me to repeat it or do you? You got it. Okay.
My name is Emma Byrd. I'm employed with Hendry County School Board as a resource counselor for 33 years. I'm also County Commissioner for District 1. I've been County Commissioner for 4 years, first term. The position that I'm in as a resource counselor, it also helps me put me in the position as a leader, a motivator, also put me in a position where I'm able to step in as a lead teacher, which is filling the gap for a principal. And I'm able to mentor our youth as well as the adults. And this have allowed me to build myself within the community and the surrounding areas. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So this next question will stay with you, Commissioner Byrd. I think that our do not disturb is on. I'm sorry. It's important that our community leaders be engaged in issues that impact our county. For years, our community has been attacked by outside activists that falsely blame us for nearly all of South Florida's water issues. More recently, similar activists have drawn up a lawsuit over cane burning. If elected, what would you do to not only combat their lies, but also to help educate the citizens of Hendry County about these issues and speak out against the misinformation that these activists spread? That's a big question.
It is, but let me first state that it's impossible to disband lies. Lies are going to come. However, we need to focus on the facts. So in my community meetings, I have related to the community about the cane ban burning. And I have spoke with some of the communities in the surrounding areas to see what they're doing to focus on it. So it's important that we encourage them and give them truth on what's happening with the cane burning. And with that being said, we will continue to travel with Tallahassee to Tallahassee. We will continue to meet with the different people in the community to let them know the truth, because ban burning is how would you say it, lies that come out. We need to overdo the lies with the truth. So we need to continue to encourage them with truth to ban out the lies that's coming forth. And the only way you're going to do that, when the information comes forth, you have a community meeting and you encourage them of what's coming too. So that's what I would do as a county commissioner. I will continue to do that, to give them facts about ban burning.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Warren, I am going to direct that question to you. Just give me 2 seconds, because it looks like Mr. Simmons did get connected. Mr. Simmons, can you hear me? I'm trying to unmute you. I think that you are under Miss Weekly's profile. Maybe. I hope we're not. Well, now you're gone. Okay. Mr. Warren, we'll try to help Mr. Simmons on the back end. I apologize, you guys. Mr. Warren, the question was, it's important that our community leaders be engaged in issues that impact our county. For years, our community has been attacked by outside activists that falsely blame us for nearly all of South Florida's water issues. More recently, similar activists have drummed up a lawsuit over cane burning. If elected, what would you do to not only combat their lies, but also to help educate the citizens of Hendry County about these issues and speak out against the misinformation these activists spread? I am having a fit trying to unmute you. Do you need to unmute yourself, maybe, Mr. Warren?
You can hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, answer to your question. Cane burning been around long as I know. And from my understanding, I don't know anyone who have been affected by cane burning. It also been proven through air quality. Me as the county commissioner, if elected, as Commissioner Byrd say, I will have a community meeting to bring in the true facts instead of the misunderstanding from what environmentalists saying, and also will keep myself afloat by going in and getting educated through public forums.
Okay, thank you. And we're going to stay with you for this next question. Lake Okeechobee is a jewel in our backyard. Its health is not only important for the lake's ecology, but also for maintaining and growing tourism dollars in Hendry County. What is your view on our current management of Lake Okeechobee? What Lake Okeechobee practices and projects do you support? What changes would you advocate for?
Lake Okeechobee is currently being managed by South Florida Water Management. It is several jobs on the horizon. The most one that stick out is the Everglade restoration. And the main thing that I would advocate for is with the dike being fixed. And I'm very proud as I travel down 27, I see that the work is in progress. But what I would advocate for, that the work would be completed before 2025.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Simmons, are you able to hear me? There you are. Do you have your audio on, Mr. Simmons? I do not think he has his audio on, Sinidra. Commissioner Byrd, the Lake Okeechobee question. Lake Okeechobee is a jewel in our backyard. Its health is not only important for the lake's ecology, but also for maintaining and growing tourism dollars. What's your view on the current management of Lake Okeechobee? What Lake Okeechobee practices and projects do you support, and what changes would you advocate for?
Concerning Lake Okeechobee, I would say science is good. I will also say I support science facts, but I will also say that they need to listen to the community, the people that's on the lake that works the lake. So I would say that I'm in agreement with Project C43. I'm in agreement with the rehabilitation of the dike, but also I need them to consider that the way the water flows. So with the C43, the water will eventually flow out, but if they would clean it, if it come down. So with that project, the reservation of the water coming down the dike, it need to be cleaned prior to coming into the lake. So that's what I would support. I'm grateful that it will be finished by 2022, I believe. It should be complete. And if it's not there yet, still working on it. But we have to understand that it's a process that's in process, and that with the dike moving forward, it just have to be clean coming down. If you got a leak in your roof, you don't clean the basement first. You start from the top. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mr. Simmons, thank you for joining us. I am trying now to unmute you. I had you unmuted a second ago. Ask him to hit the mute button again. There we go. Mr. Simmons, can you hear me?
Right, but you'll just be on speakerphone. Don't hang up.
That's okay. We are improvising. So hi, Mr. Simmons. Thank you for joining us. I'm sorry that we're having such difficulties connecting here, but that's okay. We're doing the best we can. We are currently on a question that I'm going to read to you. Lake Okeechobee is a jewel in our backyard. Its health is not only important for the lake's ecology, but also for maintaining and growing tourism in Hendry County. What is your view on the current management of Lake Okeechobee? What Lake Okeechobee practices and or projects do you support, and what changes would you advocate for?
Okay, I went to the demonstration. We went to Tallahassee, and I paraphrase the senator, congressman, I don't know which one he was, but he said, fix the damn lake. If we fix the lake, then it can hold the capacity of the water and not the back pump. And the complaint seemed to be that we back pumping, the water's going to Fort Myers and all the way to Port St. Lucie. And the algae problem is caused. But I'm not an environmental scientist, but I don't see any algae anywhere in the Coulson area. I've driven down the Caloosahatchee River. I've driven down to St. Lucie. There's no algae nowhere. So the algae jumped from Okeechobee all the way there. I think it might have came from that. They live in those plush neighborhoods, and I'm sure they fertilize their grass, and when the rain, fertilize run off in their canal. That's what I think's happening. And the fish, we use the lake for fishing and for livelihood for a lot of people, so we need to keep it healthy.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, sir. Since I do not have the ability to mute you any longer because you're on this cell phone that's sitting right here, that's what I mean by improvise. I am going to ask you to refrain from speaking while the others are answering, because I can control
Okay.
I can control them with my mute button, but not you.
Okay, all right.
So our next question is going to go to Mrs. Byrd. Miss Byrd, Commissioner Byrd, I apologize. Agriculture is considered the economic engine to our area. The industry's indirect tax contributions are critical to our local government. If elected, what would you do to support our local agriculture industry?
Agriculture is our #1 drive in economics for Henry County, and we will continue to serve our county. With this effect, it affect ranchers, it affect farmers, it affect those with the soil and everything under that line. But traveling to Tallahassee, working with the Department of Ag and also the departments at hand, we will continue to make sure that they have everything they're needed to move forward. This is a big part of our economic finance coming in, and this is what we live upon. And we need to make sure that they understand that. I heard them say that we are important people. Well, our farmers are just as important as we are. Our ranchers are just as important as we are. We will continue to fight for the land and fight that they have everything that they need to move forward, because this will affect our economics in our area. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Warren, agriculture is considered the economic engine to our area. The industry's indirect tax contributions are critical to our local government. If elected, what would you do to help support agriculture, our local agricultural industry?
Agriculture always been a lifeline in our area. And I would advocate against false information from environmentalists. And I also would advocate that the agriculture with production of land with agriculture.
Okay, thank you, sir. Mr. Simmons?
Okay, agriculture, as they said, is the lifeline for the community. You either work in agriculture or you sell something to agriculture, and it provides a lot of jobs. So we have to make sure that our agriculture is not stymied by bills from Tallahassee or the national level, so that they can still be productive and our area can continue to progress.
Thank you, sir. The next question, we are going to stick with you, Mr. Simmons. We'll let you go first this time. Do you plan to promote any changes to our existing tax code? If so, why?
Well, taxes is a taboo subject. Sometimes it's necessary, but I don't see any foreseeable tax increase coming soon, and I'd have to study that to find out what we need. I understand millage, and I know that's how we determine how taxes are levied, but I have to study a lot more to determine whether tax would be necessary to be raised or lowered.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Byrd, do you plan to promote any changes to the existing tax code? If so, why?
Presently, as a county commissioner, we have been doing all we know to do to work together for the last 4 years not to increase taxes to our citizens of Henry County. And with that path, we will continue to do that. It affects everyone. It doesn't just affect them, but it also affects me. So with that being said, we will continue to work not to increase taxes in our county. We will be good stewards over their money. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Mr. Warren, the same question to you.
I would not increase tax at this present time.
Okay, thank you. This question will actually remain with you, Mr. Warren. We'll start with you. What do you see as the most pressing needs for infrastructure or capital projects in Hendry County?
Main capital projects, the main thing that I would see from the funds from the CARE Act, that we have affordable housing, homeless shelter for the homeless, and repairs of roads.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Simmons, the same question to you.
Okay, one thing I think we need to do, we need to change our lighting system from wattage to the hydrogen, because they're much brighter, and it would defer crime, because light and police presence defer crime. And the roads need to be repaired. We got some potholes that need to be repaired, and we got some roads that need to be paved that aren't paved.
Okay, thank you, sir. And Commissioner Byrd, that same existing question to you.
So I do believe that the pressing time right now for soft and hard infrastructure is broadband. A couple of years ago, broadband was not a priority, but it's a priority now because of the pandemic. So we need to make sure that we focus on that, and it's going to build our economics. Even with that, the workforce is part of that. Also dealing with our retraining of our workforce for the people that have lost their jobs during this time, to get them back in a place that they are able to put back into the economy. So with infrastructure, this will help them, but broadband would be my first priority along with housing at this time. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Actually, we're going to stay with you for our next question. What is your experience with preparing or authorizing budgets? I need you to unmute yourself.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
As a county commissioner, we try to ensure to balance on both sides. That basically with traveling, make sure the money is used in the proper area. They do have people that's expertise on that. And even with that being said, we have to make sure that we use the people money according to a need and not a want, things that's needed to repair. So when you're balanced and you're using this money, the taxpayers' money, we need to make sure that we have a balance with it, not misusing it, not traveling just because we can travel, or not repairing because it's in your area. We need to make sure we use it as a need and not as a want. So with that being said, I would love to continue educating myself in finance, but there's an expertise out there, and I work with them to build me in that area. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Simmons, what is your experience with preparing or authorizing budgets?
Okay, I worked as a supervisor for DCF, and I ran the food stamp office as well as system assistants, and I was responsible for $3 million budget, $3 million food stamp inventory. Not once was it out of line when we was audited by QA. I was the president of the Allen County Alumni Association that puts on the Brown Sugar Festival every year. I handled the budget on that, and every year I ensured that when we paid all our bills, we would have enough money to offer scholarships to our deserving seniors. So I understand budget. I have a business major. I understand accounting and economics, economic feasibility, and I'm sure I won't have any problem with budgeting.
Okay, thank you, sir. Mr. Warren, what is your experience with preparing budgets and authorizing budgets?
I had no reason or any reason to prepare any budget, but as the new county commissioner, I will work closely with a financial director to make sure that all funds be allocated properly.
Okay, thank you. And we're going to stick with you for this question, Mr. Warren. If new resources were available, what one area of county services would you feel most needs additional resources?
As I stated earlier, shelter for the homeless, affordable housing, and repair road work.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Simmons, that same question to you.
Number one, we need sidewalks in our residential area, because they have to walk in the road anytime you want to walk anywhere in the community. And and a lot of damn kids in the street, and you have to stop. So we need sidewalks, we need to repair the roads, and we need the lighting system changed.
Okay, thank you. And Commissioner Byrd, the same question to you.
One area that I would direct my resources to would be workforce training, because once I just said with the pandemic going on, we need to reestablish our people for jobs to make sure that they're in the place to, as the economy grows, that they have what they need. And they can't do that if they're not trained, because with everything that's changing, we need to equip them to maintain their status in their community and to take care of their home. So with that being said, I would build the economic status through that area.
Okay, thank you. That's all the questions that the chamber has. So I'm looking at some stuff, and I have my colleagues looking at some stuff on our Facebook feed. One thing that sticks out is Mr. Simmons. Somebody feels like they missed your introduction. And that's because he hasn't given his introduction. He wasn't on the call at that time. He was having some technical difficulties. So we'll go backtrack a little for you and allow you to answer our first question, which was, please tell us your full name, tell us where you are currently employed, and how does your current employment add to your qualifications to serve as a Hendry County Commissioner for District 1?
Okay, my name is Samuel Simmons. I'm retired right now, but I worked 22 years as a math teacher in Palm Beach County, including pre-calculus, which is the math for business. So I understand business. I know how to do budgets. I've had many years of experience as a supervisor managing. I was a night auditor for a hotel, a large hotel, where I had to balance the budget every night. I've worked in this community as a softball coach. I sponsored softball, I sponsored men basketball. And because of the exposure by my men basketball team, one of my players received a full scholarship to play basketball at Florida Memorial University. I was born and raised in this town. I love this community. I lived here when we had one paved road and 3 dirt roads. And I've seen it grow. And with my expertise, my experience, I'm certain that I'll be able to help it move forward.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. So that does conclude the questions that were submitted to the chamber and the ones that that the chamber had it ourselves. But now I'm going to just read off a couple of things from Facebook because we have a little bit of time. So, Mr. Warren, I have someone that this part isn't really a question for anybody, but I mean, it says, can we get a breakdown on how the taxpayer money is used in each community for the past 10 years? And I would imagine, Commissioner, correct me if I'm wrong, that yes, you can request that. I'm sure it's public records from the Board of County Commissioner, you know, from Hendry County's offices there in LaBelle. But that's something that you would have to do, Mr. Brown. People want transparency, is what he says. Is that something that you as a commissioner can guarantee? For you, Mr. Warren, can you guarantee transparency between your constituents and yourself?
Yes.
Okay. No elaboration, just yes?
Yeah, yes, the transparency as in you referring to doing something different in the community?
No, just being very transparent with what the commission is doing, not trying to hide anything or you know, just putting all your cards on the table all the time.
Most definitely. My main thing is, for one, is getting the community engaged. And the second thing at most is going out, listening to my constituents and coming up with a resolution to what they need. And also, I want to work on the biggest thing that we have in our community right now is safety, education, housing, and employment in our district as a whole. That I want, you know, that's a big concern right now. Unemployment is a big thing in our community right now, and also working closely with workforce and even the Joseph Project with bringing, you know, first of all, getting our constituents engaged with the jobs and bringing them, you know, to have better jobs in our community.
Very good, thank you. Mr. Simmons,
Yes.
the same question to you about transparency.
Okay, it definitely need to be transparent because in the past, I was a whistleblower where money that was being collected from District 1 was not being spent in District 1. And it was verified by the county administrator that over $12 million that was designated for keeping up the facilities in Holland, the gym, the pool, and they were all in disrepair. Matter of fact, the gym hadn't been painting so long to me and my basketball team that I was coaching. Mr. Humphrey, God bless his soul, he got some paint and we painted the gym. And that money went somewhere else. It did not go in the community. The civic center, the bathroom needed repair, the kitchen needed repairs. The dance room was abandoned. The shop was not being utilized. And I don't know where that money went, so it definitely needs to be transparent. And you may need to post the budget and what they're doing with it every year. Need to put it in the paper.
Okay, thank you, sir. Commissioner Byrd, the same question to you regarding transparency.
I can be transparent, have been, to address some of the things that were spoken. As I came in 2016, whatever that I need to, regardless of what happened before my time, I can't deal with that. I can only deal with what's at hand. And what's at hand, we have went in and we did some repairs in the Civic Center. The band room is being used. The gym is being used. Everything is being isolated. We was in the red in 2016, but I'm grateful to say we're not there now. But being that said, we have built communities and built programs for our youth, and we use the facilities like the YMCA. We're working through the gym. The band room is being used to sewing. The 4-H is coming in. So these things are being used. And yes, I can, and yes, I have been. I heard the hearts of the people when I got in, and that's why these programs are now in place. And I will continue to hear the hearts of the people. There was concern about their children. So we did put programs in place. And I appreciate everybody helping work, but we will continue to build these programs as we move forward. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Let's see. If you could change one item as a county commissioner about the community, well, I guess that's kind of what we already asked. So that's not really fair. Programs for children seem to be a really big thing on our Facebook feed right now. Mr. Simmons, what kind of programs would you add for children in your district?
Okay, number one thing, we need to air condition that gym. They closed all the windows in 20 years ago and they supposed to air condition it. And the kids, they want to play sports. We could air condition that gym, put curtains in it, the community use it for church activities, concerts. You could even have spas, where you could exercise, have places for the kids to come be tutored. I know we have the library, but they can also come in the gym, put it in a different setting, and maybe they'll participate more.
Okay, Mr. Warren, what kind of programs would you like to see implemented if you were a commissioner for children? Oh, hold on. There you go. There you go.
As I worked in Part 1 program as the athletic director for years with youth kids with Part 1 of football. And I also did a lot of activities with several other constituents in this community with putting on kickball and stuff for the kids to have something in the community to do. My biggest thing for activity for the kids is we need to try to hire lifeguards for the swimming pool. We got a swimming pool that's not even being utilized that the kids would love to use in our neighborhood. And we need to look into not waiting till summertime to try to hire lifeguards. We need to be looking for this like in January or before to hire lifeguards so the kids can have something to do in the summertime. Not only, it's a good thing that Commissioner Byrd, with the program, the summer program, but they never have a chance to utilize the pool. And that needs to be utilized, and just programs that like flag football after the part one of season is over, and even baseball, try to put a baseball program together here in our community when it's even over, like during the summertime when they're done with baseball in the city limits.
Okay. Commissioner Byrd, if you could implement something for children, what would you like to see that be?
As of today, I will continue to build. We do have the YMCA, and it's only in the summertime. That's an out for our children. Also, we did the Clewiston Junior Pro basketball this year, and we will continue that. We worked on the 4-H program. We implemented that this year. Also, we did preventing crime in the community since 2017. That was already in place, but our young people did not have access to it. So for the last 2 years, they've been going to prevent crime in the community in Jacksonville and in Tampa. Then we have the GAP program that we have. It's building a relationship with the officers and with the judge and the circuit court. So these programs are ongoing, and we will continue to build as we move forward. And once again, it takes that village, and the pool was being used. We don't wait till January to get a lifeguard. We look up the lifeguards in the wintertime, and we try to work with the city to pull out lifeguards, knowing that we need lifeguards, but they have to qualify. We can't just put anybody in the pool with the kids, but the pool have been used, and we will continue to build that program. So thank you so much.
Excellent. Yes, ma'am. You're very welcome. Final question. We'll start with Mr. Simmons. With regard to the opportunity zone and the way that the Harlem area District 1 falls into that opportunity zone, what would you do as a commissioner to encourage growth, economic growth within that opportunity zone designation?
Well, the Harlem area is unincorporated for one thing, and we don't have a major highway coming through there, so I'd be lying if I say we try to get a major business to come in, because I'm a business major, and businesses don't just arbitrarily put a business in an area because somebody thinks it's a good idea. They do extensive studies, and the main thing is traffic. The businesses downtown would not survive if it wasn't for the traffic passing through. So the only thing we can do is try to get a block grant and maybe remodel the business that we have so they look better and they have the area look better, and maybe more people would patronize it.
Okay. Commissioner Byrd, the same question to you in regards to the opportunity zone.
With the opportunity zone, we have been working with economic development and marketing, going out into the different business to find a way to help them improve their business, to find out what grants there are. We've been sitting down with them to engage what we could do to better our community. And we're still moving forward with that. I believe it's going to happen. Like I said, it takes time, but we are doing that. And I do believe that it's going to be a change to come, and we have to continue to work at it. So with that being said, our business that's in the community, we had so many businesses when I moved to Florida, and they're going to come back, and we're going to be the ones that make that change, because we're going to cause it to grow, and we're going to cause it to build. When you hear me say we, I mean the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Warren, the same question your way.
Could you hear me?
Yes, I got you now.
Yes, as in business wise, I would like to see the opportunity where in District 1 as a whole, in the county, in the community out here, and even in our Harlem community, I would like to see the growth of business out here where we stay at, and get the same opportunity that being given downtown.
Okay, thank you, sir. So now what we're going to do, we're going to use the order on my screen, just because it makes sense, I guess. And I'm going to allow each candidate to have 2 minutes to speak directly to the voter and let them know why they should vote for you. Before we do that, let me remind you that this is on Facebook Live. I know the majority of you, I would probably imagine all three of you probably have a Facebook account. I want to highly encourage you to go back, go to the Chambers page and look at this video. There are right now 142 people watching with us, and that's low for what it's been throughout this process. And there are tons of questions and comments. I mean, I can just kind of show you like tons of questions and comments. So please do yourself, do your candidacy a favor, and go back to this Facebook page and communicate directly with your voters via our Facebook page. It just makes sense. They're here, they're asking questions. This is an opportunity for you all as candidates to get to speak directly to them. With that, I will let Mr. Warren begin to close us out with his 2 minutes.
Could you hear me?
I can now.
First and foremost, I want to thank the Chambers for putting this forum on.
You're most welcome. Thank you.
And if I'm elected as your county commissioner, I want to work for District 1 as a whole, not just Harlem. And for the ones that not aware of where District 1 is covered, is everything south of 27 from Sunny's to Sunrise restaurant. And I also would like, as a whole, that this is the constituent community. I would like to hear what they want and what they need and work together as a whole. This is not an our me situation, this is a we. And if we're gonna move this community, we're gonna have to get together and get rid of the division. I'm here to work for everyone, whether you on the other side with each one of the candidates, it doesn't matter. I still have to work for you as a whole as your county commissioner.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Warren. And thank you for being here with us today. Mr. Simmons, you are up next to have your 2 minutes.
Okay. I think because of my education and experience, I'm the best candidate for this position. I have multiple years of manager and supervising programs, and they all were successful. I provided a lot of things for this community in the form of entertainment. I'm the president of the Harlem Kettling Association that presents the Brown Sugar Festival every year. And during the time I was president, we awarded $150,000 in scholarship. So I'm about the community. I'm pro-education. And number one thing, we need to encourage our kids to go to school, do well, go to college, and come back and help the community. And if they elect me, I will work hard to ensure that those things happen. Ensure that money that's allocated for this district stays in this district and not reallocated some other place.
Okay, thank you, sir. And our incumbent, Commissioner Byrd, as the incumbent, you will get the final opportunity here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity. But first, I would like to provide much needed information. There was a drastic change in our community with Harlem Academy Daycare. Come to find out that South Florida community daycare was closed, but in 2003, the daycare was deeded to the South Florida Child Care, and that was like 13 years prior to me coming on. But since I've been a commissioner in 2019, as I work with the county administrator, we are working to put back services in that community, not only as a daycare, but also with business coming in to provide for our communities, such as United Way and different services that will provide our community. We did not own the daycare when it's closed, unfortunately, but we are working to make sure that life come back into that area to benefit the community. So as a county commissioner from 2019, I have established programs. As I said before, we have the YMCA, we have the GAP program, we have the Preventing Crime in the Community, the 4-H Club. there's things that's yet still growing. And as a commissioner, I believe that I heard the hearts of the people. I believe that I'm giving them what they asked for. I made no promise because I didn't know where I was going and what I was actually getting into. But as I go, I'm finding myself even more loving what I do. I love helping people, and I will continue to do that. I believe that it's a must that we come together. I believe that it's a must that we attend the meetings. I believe that it's a must that we love one another in order for this to grow. This community was built off love. I'm not originally from Cluis, but when I came here, my family fell in love and we moved here. So Cluiston and Harlem is a
10-second warning.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Cluiston and Harlem is a place to be. So I thank you. I'm up for re-election this year. I ask that you will honor me by voting yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I was hoping to get through that whole one without interrupting anybody, but I had to right there at the end. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Again, I ask that you go back, look at the comments. There's some good stuff there. There's some really good questions there. Unfortunately, we just can't manage to cover everything that comes down the pike, but I am happy that we've been able to give some of our Facebook viewers a platform to ask these questions, and hopefully you guys will go back and engage with them. That would be fantastic. Again, we've done 2 other forums today. We did the Hendry County Sheriff and the Hendry County Judge. Those are down our feed on Facebook. Tomorrow we will be here with Raymond Iglesias and Michael Atkinson to do the Hendry County Commission District 4 seat. That's tomorrow afternoon. If you have any questions, give us a call, but we thank you guys for being with us. Our intention, as always, is not to sway a vote in either direction. It's simply to make sure that all of the voters here in Cluiston and Hendry County are making an educated choice. So this is just an outlet to help educate your voters. So we appreciate you very much, and let us know if you need anything. Good luck.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.